What's up, sexy people? I am Nikki Gilbert Daniels. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the show where women get to speak about what's really going on in real life, in their life, in other folks' life, and all kinds of other shit. It has been a long time since we have done a She Speaks Live episode. We had to decompress. I had to decompress. We did some new things with the website. We have been improving the user experience. So if you logged on and created a profile, which I can probably tell you that my guests who are my friends, who have been my friends for a while, probably have not set up their profiles.
I set
But
up my
that's all right
profile.
though. I haven't introduced you yet,
Oh.
Stacy. Um, anyway, I thank you guys for logging on, setting up a profile. There have been so many people showing love to the 90s R&B brand and some of those cool little things that we have in our merchandise store. So I want to thank you guys sincerely for that. And I'm about to introduce my guest. My co-host, I'm sorry. These ain't guests. These divas and cocktails from the bottom up. We go back like 4 flats. This lady right here is an author. She wrote a book called Just Date Girl 143 Reasons Why Women Should Date Multiple Men. She is a relationship philosophy fixer. She is a woman about town, and everybody knows her in the ATL and everywhere else. Give it up for my girl, Stacey J. Woo woo! Stacey Jizzle. And next up, my sister from Detroit, Detroit versus everybody. She has an organization called Beyond the Game. She's got a book called Girl, I'm Not Tripping, I'm Depressed. She is a wonderful super mom. She is a wife of an athlete. She is an entrepreneur. She on Forbes, all kind of dope stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my girl, Shanita Foster. And now this is all three of us. Whoop, whoop. So, you guys, Christine Beatty is joining us. She's going to be a little late. I'm getting into the practice of not being too long winded and having these things go for too long. But I want to say to YouTube, if you're watching us on YouTube, if you are watching us on Facebook, I want to say thank you guys so much because our numbers are growing. I actually got a little checky check from YouTube. It wasn't about $40, but it was, a little something. So I want to thank YouTube for allowing me to be a partner. And yeah, so that's my spiel. And if I didn't introduce myself, I am Nikki Gilbert Daniels, and I am so honored to be in the presence of my beautiful sisters, Stacey J. Johnson and Shanita Foster. What's up, ladies?
Hey.
So, ladies, what y'all been up to? Freestyle. Stacy, you go first. What you been doing, girl?
Oh my gosh. Whew. Let me tell you something. COVID honestly has allowed me the opportunity to refocus and restructure my business. And what I've learned is companies like Essence have done the same. And I was a part of the first ever Essence Festival virtual. Literally, I got an opportunity to teach a class virtual for Essence 2 weeks ago during what we would
Mm.
all be in, NOLA during our thing. But
Yeah,
Essence was so future forward and unstoppable. And I was just able to still do the Essence Festival. So I'm like Essence, I'm just restructuring my business. I have my
yeah.
Audible. My book is coming out on Audible. Date Girl, 143
Yay.
Reasons Why I Believe Women Should Date Multiple Men. I finally finished that. That will be out before Christmas. And just coaching women and gosh, doing my thing. Meet Your Match, created a whole virtual speed dating event that's now the largest speed dating event in the history. We did 80 dates in one
Ooh,
night for 6 hours. 80 speed dates. It's the first ever. So I'm just really excited. This time is really a time for us to, of course, we have to take care of our health and ourselves, but we do have to
mm-hmm,
see what can I do as an entrepreneur and a business owner and influencer to really not have COVID work against me, but how can I
mm-hmm.
elevate my mindset and because this may be our new normal. So
Yeah,
luckily
absolutely.
I've
We're
been
gonna
able
get
to
into
do that.
that too.
Yeah.
Definitely. Shanita Foster, what's
Yes,
going on with
ma'am.
Detroit versus everybody, sis? What you up to?
As same as Stacy, for me, this has been super complicated. This is my first time ever this long in the country. So I had to readjust a lot of things mentally for me with the international travel ban. I was making all my money overseas. And so, like Stacy said, it was a big adjustment. I had to see what worked for my business, for my brand. And it actually is almost like my reintroduction to the United States. I had to learn how to make money here in the United States. Unlike the United States, other countries are completely shut down. I'm talking about
Yeah.
banks are not moving, government is not doing anything, there's no deals happening, and unfortunately, they don't have the internet structure that we do in a lot of countries. When you start talking about Nigeria, South Africa, different places, they have load shedding. I have friends that didn't have electricity for over 17 hours just because
Oh
they were
wow.
powering up another area. So it's been an adjustment. Finishing a new book.
So
I'm
what is
excited.
real
Huh?
real quick for those of us who don't know, because I don't know, what is load sharing? Like
So
certain
load
people have it.
shedding is when they need to charge up the power of a country from one area to another. So say for instance, we
Oh
live in
wow.
Buckhead and all the power is working in Buckhead, but South Atlanta, the power is not strong, the lights go off. They shut off
Oh wow.
all the power in Buckhead and put us in the dark for
Wow.
hours. It don't matter how much money you got, it don't matter if you paid your bill. All
Wow.
of your
Wow.
electricity goes out and they charge that area that doesn't have power, and then yours comes back on. So imagine if your power
Wow.
goes out for 10 hours, the stuff in your refrigerator, if it's hot
Right.
outside, no air conditioning, if it's cold, no heat. Right now, they're in the middle of winter. So they're in the middle of load shedding, trying to get the
Wow.
power right in the country. So imagine trying to do business on a Zoom or a Skype. You don't have no power. So we've
Yeah.
had
Oh
meetings
wow.
that are set up and there's
Mm.
no power. But then
Damn.
Wow.
it made me finish up a book. My new book is called Heart of a Hustler.
Ah,
Everybody
I
knows
love
Oh,
that
I love it. Heart of the
Heart of a
hustler.
Hustle. And I just got that because I think me, you, Stacy, some of us we
book.
just born knowing how to hustle. So I
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
everybody's born with a heart, so you know your heart kind of works, but everybody don't know how to hustle. So
Oh,
it's
I
kind of
love
like the story and a handbook of how to switch up your hustle a little bit. I see everybody
Yeah.
charging 999, 1,000. Man, I seen somebody charge $10,000 for a class. I'm thinking, what you
it.
gonna tell me
Wow.
for $10,000? So I wanted to come up with at least a
Wow.
book for people that are still out there that are just trying to find their
That's
way
so
and
good.
learn how to hustle. Everybody don't have 999 to give
Yeah.
to somebody. And shout out for Stacy for everything that I see Stacy do is affordable, and I commend her on that.
Thank you.
People don't understand little money equal big money. So you don't
Yep.
have to
That's
beat
right.
your clients
Mm-hmm.
over the head every time you want to produce something to make money. You can
Yep.
be fair
Mm-hmm.
about it. I think $99 is cool. People want to spend $100, but you
Yes.
start putting out $599, $5,000 for an experience. And I feel like all of
Yeah,
us
that's
are
crazy.
Absolutely.
amazing at our craft, but I think it's like price gouging and taking advantage of vulnerable people. And
Yep.
people don't like when I say that. They're like, oh, you charge small prices because you're broke. No, I'm charging
No.
reasonable prices to help our people get a leg up in the knowledge we don't know, whether it's
Absolutely.
dating, whether it's mental
Yeah.
health, whether
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
business. We got to give them a chance to at least have an opportunity. So the book
Yeah.
is just giving
Oh
some
my
steps
God.
on how
That's so
you can
good.
start your hustle.
Yeah,
She,
that's really,
that
isn't
is
that good,
so good.
Stacey?
I'm so
Yeah.
excited about that book. Oh my, I have chills. Like for real.
Heart
That
of a
book
hustler.
is going to be amazing. For real.
Yeah.
Like for
That's
real.
gonna be
Heart
awesome.
of a hustler.
Well,
Yes.
ladies, while we're talking about books,
What?
I
Yes.
have finally decided that I'm going to enter the author arena.
Yay!
I've been
Me too. Long
Thank you,
overdue.
thank you, thank you. Well, and Stacey, you and I have had this conversation before. Like for me, it was just making sure. Like I've done, not like that, but I've had a wide ranging career.
Yep.
So you can't put 25 years really into like a book. Well, I guess you can. You just have to be creative about it.
Yep.
So I'm going to go on ahead, and I've been putting pages together and just writing about things as it deals with my life and career and choices and decisions and heartaches and how I got over shit. And it's really about overcoming obstacles and staying the
You
course
have a
because I think
name
that
yet
that's
for it,
the
Nikki?
common thread. Yeah, I
You don't
do.
want to tell us?
Girl, just tell us the name.
Well, I don't know if that's the name. I want to like read it again and
Okay.
then make a determination. But
Okay.
because one name I was gonna go with, and I've decided that it probably not because of the negative reference. But one name was Diary of a Diva. Um,
Okay. I like.
which I thought was a
I
little
like it, but I
provocative.
think you can do a little, you know me.
Oh, this one is a little. It's
Oh,
all the shit they don't want you to know type
Yeah,
thing. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Because I am disclosing all the shit they don't want you to know.
I
Right?
love it.
Ownership. That's a big deal. You can get this in.
I like
Yeah.
that. Oh my
Ownership.
God.
like that.
It's going to be a whole. Yeah. So I'm wearing a t-shirt, dude. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to keep it a little light, but it's kind of hard to keep it light because there's so much stuff that's going on right now in the country, and there's so much stuff that's going on in the media.
Mhm.
And I'm just going to come out and ask you ladies what your thoughts are first on this Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lane situation. So I'm going to give you guys the latest, which I believe is the latest and the greatest
Oh God.
as it relates to her. And again, one thing that I have learned is that you can't believe a lot of what the media puts out there
Mm-mm.
because I myself have been a victim of it. But I'm going to read these tweets. Megan put out a tweet on July 17th, which was 2 days ago, that
Mhm.
said, "Black women are so unprotected, and we hold so many things in to protect the feelings of others without considering our own. It
Mhm.
might be funny to y'all on the internet and just another messy topic for you to talk about, but this is my real life, and I'm real life hurt and traumatized." And she was saying that in response to this, which you guys
Mhm.
may be aware of, but I'm going to read it for those of you who have been living under a rock and don't know what it is. The narrative that's being the narrative that's being reported. She was in a little bit of an incident that could have actually ended her life. She got shot in the foot twice. There is not a lot of information about how she got shot in the foot, but there is speculation that it has something to do with the fact that she was, rolling in the car with Tory Lanez. And for those of you who don't know Tory Lanez, he's the guy who covered the Brownstone song "Say It." He's been hugely successful. He was 2 years old when the record came out, so he's a baby. And he recently had some issues with his record label Interscope, and he's been doing like Tory Lane radio and Tory Lane live concerts. But he was arrested. She was taken to the hospital, and she said the narrative that is being reported about Sunday morning's events are inaccurate, and I'd like to set the record straight. On Sunday morning, I suffered gunshot wounds as a result of a crime that was committed against me and done with the intention to physically harm me. I was
Mhm.
never arrested. The police officers drove me to the hospital where I underwent surgery to remove the bullets. This is crazy. I'm incredibly grateful to be alive and that I'm expected to make a full recovery. But it
Mhm.
is important for me to clarify the details about this traumatic event. I am currently focused on my recovery so I can make a return back to my life and back to making music as soon as possible. So anybody could take what they think that is. We
I,
don't know the details, so there's speculation.
I, it's a lot of speculation, but okay. So I'm a gun owner. Let's just call this what it is, right? I'm
Ditto.
a Detroit girl. I've been shooting a gun since I was 10 years old. Something about that don't make sense. I can't, even within an argument, I can't see a man saying, "I'm going to shoot you in the foot. I'm going to aim and shoot your feet." Something in this story is not making sense. My first thought was it might have been an argument or something that happened in the car, but I think there was some rapper or somebody I seen. I think it was Royce the 5'9", another Detroit person, that said this is when gun safety has to come into play, and people that own guns need to know how to fully operate a gun and have
Mhm.
gun safety. So if I have to process in my common sense mind, I don't know if they dating, not dating, fighting or not fighting, but shooting somebody in the foot, that sounds like a gun safety issue, and it wasn't on purpose. Now I could be
Mhm.
wrong, but if you're
So
gonna
you're
shoot
saying like
somebody,
somebody said there's like maybe he was aiming, like he was mad and like shot at the ground, or I mean like why'd you have
that
a gun in your
nobody with
hand
common sense would shoot at the ground in a car. You'll shoot
knowing
in
it
the
were
air if you
Richardson?
outside
No,
and
what
you hit
I
somebody.
what someone said, and again this is all alleged and speculation. Somebody said that it started outside of the car, and then he was, I guess, rushing her to the hospital. We don't know. Anyway, we don't know. We don't
Mm.
know.
We don't know.
But Stacey, what do you think about the incident? I mean, she
Yeah,
was in
I
the car
always
with
say that
Tori.
matters of the heart if they were dating. I mean, my heart goes out to Megan Thee Stallion because she did say a lot in there. It seems like there's some things that she's holding to herself because of her relationship with this gentleman. And it seems because of that, now she's seeing wow, I need to take care of myself. And honoring yourself when you're dealing even with work or kids or anyway, we have to honor ourselves. And it seems like it's most challenging for women to do that when we are in a romantic relationship with someone, when you still honor yourself. And if people who you're hanging out with, you see things, that don't agree with who you are as a woman, then you separate, period, point blank, the end. And it seems like Megan Thee Stallion, probably because she was dating this person we don't know, she allowed herself to be in situations with the person who she probably didn't agree with who she was at the core of her being. So now she's put into a situation, and the only thing you can do now, I always say, is think about what I could have done and what I will do next. And sometimes we have to go through that kind of stuff. Thank God she's still here to tell the story. I know that she's probably going to be on the front lines for women after she gets through the mental shock of what the fuck. But I think she's going to probably, knowing Megan Thee Stallion, and it seems like from what she just said, she's going to be on the front line to tell the story, to stop other women. So at the end of the day, thank God she's still here, but I'm happy and I'm excited to hear about the story that's going to come after this.
But yeah, I have to agree. Unprotected because they're making jokes. People like 50 Cent and other people were making jokes. 50 Cent. And she made her comment right after they started all of these jokes by saying, Black women are the most unprotected. Instead of saying, is she okay? And checking on the situation.
What did 50
she
say?
was turned into memes. She was turned into jokes right away. And she just like, our women are so unprotected. Like, they come after us.
50 Cent is about the most ignorant motherfucker if he is an embarrassment to all Black men in the world. This motherfucker can kiss my ass. I'm sorry. I
won't be on a 50 Cent movie.
No, I don't. This motherfucker, he makes me not even want to turn on Power. He is such the most unempowered nigga I've ever, y'all know, for me to have that many motherfuckers come out of my mouth, pissed off.
So tell us what's really going on. Why don't you really like 50 Cent, Stacey?
He is an embarrassment to Black men. Like, he just
shit.
He doesn't even get 5 cents. He doesn't even get a motherfucking penny. He gets half of a penny. Matter of fact, his penny, it don't even exist. That's what a lower piece of shit this Black man is. 50 Cent to me, y'all, I have so much Black woman anger in my mind for 50 Cent, for real. Like, this dude, the way he talks about Black women and the women in the neighborhood versus, the woman who looks like she's made for a yacht, and this dude is like a piece of shit.
Oh, he said that? Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he talked about
he's a piece of shit
versus Black women. Girl, we are not exotic.
Yes, and he said why would I want to be with a girl that looked like she from the neighborhood? And then a rapper who I do like, Lil Wayne, because he is a lyricist for real, he starts laughing. And he know his daughter looks like me, you, and Shanita, a girl from the neighborhoods, which is another embarrassment. And it's so much to where then Toya, her mother, had to uplift her and with the picture and say, you are beautiful. Why do we have to fight that much for our daughters like that? When your daddy is like, that shit to me, girl, don't even talk about 50 Cent. Can we edit that out?
I'm sad to say, no, we're live, so you can't edit out what's live. But and we don't apologize for how we feel, because how we feel is how we feel, and that can change on any given day. I'm just noticing here that he was born 2 days after me, so I'm shocked that a Cancerian person would be as out cold as 50 Cent has been known to be. But is it all just a part of what you need to do to be successful? Because he's hugely successful. That's another conversation. 50 Cent is hugely successful. They have given him Power Book 1, Power Book 12, Power Book 739. So somebody thinks what he's doing is cool, which is a much bigger conversation that we'll have on another day. But somebody thinks what he's doing is cool, degrading Black women and all.
It's the thing with women, Black women, and how he just shits on us at any opportunity that he can. Even now with making it funny that Megan Thee Stallion was shot in her foot. He's a fucking ignorant ass piece of shit. I'm sorry. I'm done.
I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. As it relates to Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, I do hope that there is a explanation for this that makes a hell of a lot more sense than the one that we are all sort of concocting in our minds. But I do find it a little odd that they were in the car together and he was arrested. And I saw the video of her like getting out of the police car with her foot bleeding. And Megan, we are praying for you, sister.
Yes.
And we hope that you heal mentally, spiritually, physically. And like Stacey said, Shanita said, there is such a powerful testimony that you have as a result of this horrific incident. And nobody should be making memes and joking and laughing about it because you're
Absolutely not.
somebody's daughter, sister, future wife, and that's some bullshit. So anyway, so while we're on the subject of bullies and people not having any respect for Black women, which we've known that shit has been the case for a very long time. Tamar Braxton, who I love so
Mm.
dearly, and I think that Tamar is Tamar is funny because I always said Tamar reminds me. It's interesting because Tamar reminds me of Maxie in the physical sense and certain mannerisms and stuff. Even though Maxie was a very mellow and Tamar is more live your life out loud, but they have certain similarities in their eyes or something. It's something, right? Everybody's reminding me of Maxie these days, y'all. I'm sorry, but she also reminds me of my sister Andy, who has this really like cool, wonderful, loving, will get you birthday cards and really look out for you, and then the other part that'll let you know how it is. But I think what's unfair is that people are rushing to judgment on her situation. We don't know what it was. She hasn't said what it was. We've only seen media reports about what it was. But I think that people have the tendency to be very cruel and relentless when it comes to this image that they see on television and what they think they know about you versus who you really are as an individual or a person. And I think in Tamar's case, people have really given her a raw deal. And I
Yeah.
think that, she's probably at a point where she's just like, you know what? This is some bullshit and I'm tired and feeling broken. And I hate that if she did attempt to take her own life, I hate with everything in me that she did. But I want to get y'all's perspective because Shanita, you've been there in terms of depression and you actually spoke up about it. And people
And
had a
they
lot
drugged
of,
me on the internet,
right.
baby.
Wait, what
So why
happened?
don't you,
So
yeah, tell us about it.
as soon as I was busy that day, to be honest, I was dealing with my kids, and I started getting these phone calls and texts like I'm just checking on my strong friend, and I was kind of like, what is going on? And I went on Instagram. A lot of people don't understand. Some of us do social media. We post and we get off. We don't sit
Yeah.
on social media for hours. So I scrolled and I seen the Tamar thing, and the first thing I did was I pulled over my car and I cried. My heart hurt so bad, not even knowing the whole story. And my reason for that is I am the poster child for being misunderstood. And then another poster child, Nene Leaks, I ended up speaking to her on the phone. I think when you have strong personalities and you speak out a lot and you live your life publicly and on television or whatever, people just automatically think that you have tough skin. You get what I'm saying? They
Hmm.
think you could just take anything. So I made a post. It was a picture of me and Tamar. By the way, this is when we were all last together at the Soul Train Awards. And I don't know if you remember when we were
I
going past
remember.
the stage where Tamar was. She was like, Shanita,
Shanita!
what's that boot on your foot, girl? And we stopped and we had a conversation. So I started my post transparent. I said, this is not my friend. Because I know people on Instagram, why she posted a picture of them two. They ain't friends. I know how social media go. So I started
Hmm.
off with, we're not friends, but
Mhm.
we're in the same circle. And every time she sees me, she's very, pleasing and nice. And then I went on to say, if she attempted to commit suicide or she's depressed, I can understand it firsthand. And that's why I wrote my book, is to try to help free other people. And I'm praying for her. Baby, I was erasing comments for a whole hour. I was tired to the point I had
Wait,
to
why?
do a video. This is not about you. Why are you trying to sell a book? I didn't like her anyway. I've never liked her. You're going to always want to kill yourself. If you want to compare your life to other people, she'll never be Toni Braxton. She's not the Kardashians. I'm like, damn, wrong
Wow.
time, wrong
Mm-mm-mm.
place. Like,
Wow.
they started attacking me. It wasn't until I put up that video. So first I had to sit there and erase comments. And I don't like policing my page like that. That's why sometimes I just don't even say stuff, because people say you should be the bigger person and not be able to comment or address every issue. Baby, I know if
Wow.
I say something on Kia Kelly Brew page, Angela Stan page, certain pages you make a comment on, they coming for you all day. So I don't learn my
Hmm.
lesson. But I feel like when it comes to this situation, like why is it a negative? Why can't we just say we praying for the girl? Why we gotta say she
Right.
loud, she deserve it, she want to be
Right.
Toni Braxton, she not the
Right.
Kardashians? Listen, I've been there before when you feel misunderstood. I've been there where you feel like you got everything that the world thinks you need to have, fame and money and houses, and she got a newfound relationship, love, and all those things. But when you broken and you hurting inside, and
Yeah.
nobody wants to relate to how you feel or
Yeah.
understand how you feel, it could be a
Hmm.
very dark place. And it doesn't matter how
Absolutely.
loud you are, it doesn't matter how
Hmm.
opinionated you are
Hmm.
still a human and you have feelings, and humans have a breaking point. So all I want to say is I don't know what happened. But
Yeah.
if she is depressed, she needs to get help on that. If it was a suicide attempt, I'm
Yeah.
glad that she survived. And at the end of the day, that her peers and us as the general public show her love and understanding
Absolutely.
and not judge this
Absolutely.
girl when she get out the hospital. So that's what
Yeah.
I have to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Stacy, what are your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts on the
Uh,
situation?
wow. Just my heart goes out to Tamar. I mean, and damn, Shanita, for them to come at you for really supporting her, and it just tells me where we are. It just further digs the where we are as a people. Our sense of empathy for people is just on a low, and it's sad. It truly is sad, and that's what needs to heal. You know,
Hmm.
is that because we
Yeah.
have to remember we are spirit and a body having a human experience, and our spirits are very powerful. Before we enter a room, our spirit has already entered, and if
Yeah.
the weight of the world is carrying that sort of angst for a woman who possibly tried to take her own life, and they were more concerned with comparing her to her sister and all of that, like that to me on a spiritual level just saddens me. And as
Yeah.
far as Tamar goes, I pray for her. I hope she's okay. And but the one thing I know about that Tamar spirit is that lives will be changed. The same as
Yeah.
Megan.
Yeah.
Those two spirits. The one thing I know is they will not have closed mouth. They will speak and they will change people, and people will be live better and be better as a result of what they have gone through. So
when
I
Yeah.
you
keep
start
praying
when
for
you
her.
start a post by I never liked her or I never cared for her, that's what I'm trying to say.
That's
Like you
crazy.
said, we are lost as a people. When
Yes.
Yeah.
somebody is
Yeah.
hurting, I thought our responsibility is, and we could talk about the whole Black Lives Matter and all that later. I'm saying as a people, we have
Yes.
to do better towards each other
Yes.
first.
Hmm.
And we cannot kick each other when we're down. And I put that
Exactly.
in
Hmm.
my video. I said, why do we bask in people's hurt? Somebody get
Right.
cheated on, that's what she get, that's what he get,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. It's like clickbait, or somebody lose their car. We're not empathetic to say, okay, they messed up their money. Let's get some financial literacy and help them grow. We so busy kicking people while they're down. And we
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
change.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got some viewers. Shout out to everybody watching us on Facebook. Lisa Card says, keep focusing on the positive. Don't even acknowledge the ignorant comments. Everyone is focused on the negative, and we're praying for her over here. There's lots of support for Tamar, and I want to read what I understand to be a letter that she wrote to the network. And this is something that is reported by Blast. You want it, you got it online. Again, I'm a believer that until you hear from the horse's mouth, or it comes from her account and she says, hey, I did this, then this is what it is. But this is supposedly, y'all, a
Mm-hmm.
copy of a letter that she wrote to the network. And then I want to get a little bit into this. Um, is that a portion of, let me make sure I'm reading. Okay. It says, Braxton told executives the experience made her. In an email, Tamar said, the final stake in the heart of my family came after the day you dug up a secret I'd never share with anyone, a secret I was ashamed to talk about that I'd hid from my own mom. The fact that I had been assaulted and raped repeatedly from age 6 to 16, multiple times a day. She excused them for, wow, of exposing it on her show in front of an entire family and 100 crew members. She told executives, "You broke me that day," and I considered ending my own life then for the shame I felt. But the nice, happy, talented, and funny black family was not good enough for you. As with a cruel white slave masters who once chained our forefathers and oppressive police forces that now terrorize our communities, you needed to play into the stereotype of the dysfunctional black family. Uh-oh, I think my camera went out. Hold on, you guys. All right, am
You
I
still
back?
here?
I'm
We
back.
can still see
Okay,
you.
dysfunctional black family. So you preyed on our fears, you heightened our insecurities, and you turned us against each other. Well, I hope those ratings were worth it because you succeeded in destroying a great black family. I can't but remember the day you drove that final stake into the heart of my family and separated us, maybe forever. It was the day you dug up the secret I would never shared with anyone, a secret I was so ashamed to talk about that I hid, and I even hid it from my own mom. The fact that I've been assaulted and raped repeatedly from age 6 to 16, sometimes multiple times a day. You dug up that secret and exposed
Woo!
it on your show in front of my entire family and 100 crew members. You broke me that day, and I considered ending my life then because of the shame I felt. I was so powerless and hurt. I had to dig deep down inside of me with every ounce of courage I had to tell Wendy Williams and 10 million viewers on national TV a secret I was not ready to tell. But I had to before you exploited my story to the world and left another black viewer broken and suicidal like me. Like a
Mm.
true slave master, you have taken away everything, even my right to choose. Though it breaks my heart that with all we've lost, my family and I still get paid 16 times less than our white cohorts, many
Mm.
of whom we outrank with ratings. And though it's all black females continue to work under slave-like conditions and contracts that are choking us to death. And with your constant threats and aggression, you always remind us of the food chain in America, where white men are the very top and women of color are at the very bottom. So
Mm.
maybe there's a reason why you didn't ask me my opinion because you really don't want to hear what I had to say. What makes me cry desperately inside, however, is the fact that you will not leave me alone. I have been broken, I have been beaten, I have been raped, I have been abused repeatedly as a child and as an adult. But all of those experiences, this is the most traumatic. The fact that I'm like a slave to you. I feel like
Mm.
I can't breathe, like you're
Mm.
suffocating me, like I need some oxygen. I feel like I can't breathe and you're slowly killing me.
Wow.
Now,
Whoa.
again, I don't know if Tamar wrote this letter or not, but
Wow.
this is what
Whoa.
they're reporting. And as a
Woo!
result, this was days or it was apparent, according to Blast, this was, she was suicidal weeks leading up to it. And then the trailer was released. And in the trailer, you see
What
Mona
is the
Scott,
trailer for?
Right.
the
I was
trailer
about
for
to
her
ask my question. I
show,
don't
the
even watch
trailer for her show.
reality shows, so I don't watch it.
So the trailer for her show was released on the, I believe, allegedly released on the day she attempted to take her life. And in the trailer, you see she's going through it. You see that there's a scene where they're saying the lawyers told us that we need to leave the house. I wish I had the trailer up so that I could show you guys, but Google the trailer for Tamar's new show. There's a point where her husband, I'm sorry, her fiance, David, is saying, "I don't want something wicked in his house," or there's, if it's not of God, I don't want it. You see her putting the crew out. So there's a lot going on. You see her sitting down with Mona Scott, and Mona Scott telling her, "Open up your life, let us in, don't push us
Mona
out."
is the executive producer.
Mona Scott is the executive producer of the show,
Okay.
right? So that's a whole thing right there. That's a whole thing. But what I will say is that there is something called situational depression and clinical depression, right? And we know this. And for me, I'm torn between whether or not this is situational depression or clinical depression, because if she had not gone through all the horrible things that she's gone through with this, with these producers, with this show, with what she feels is someone destroying her narrative, which I've been there, we've all been there.
Yeah.
And if you have not been there, and let me tell y'all what's some bullshit. And I'm gonna tell you what people need to stop doing. All of this talk of you signed the contract, you signed on the dotted
Right.
line, you agreed to do it. There is so much psychological manipulation and so much bullshit that goes on behind the scenes as it
Yeah.
relates. If you are a producer who is out for blood, you're gonna get it. No matter how nice somebody talks to you, no matter how peaceful someone tries to be, you're going to get they're going to get the blood that they're out to get. It's just the nature of that beast. When you have unscrupulous producers who don't give a shit about anybody, it's not just about, oh, she has a bad attitude in it. And if you don't give it to them, they can't use it. They have ways to go in there and grab it and find it. They have ways to manipulate your conversations with other people. They
Yeah.
will take shit out of context. They will tell somebody you don't like them and you was talking about their kid and you said their kid got a big head and they slow. It'll tell you anything. You don't know what unscrupulous, rotten ass producers will do and how they will manipulate a situation. Like she said, they basically outed her. They snatched her out of the closet, for lack of a
Mhm.
better word. And if she was gay and someone was saying, oh, Tamar's gay, oh, it would be none of that. But because you're a black woman and you were sexually assaulted and it's no big deal on so many
That part.
platforms to so many fucking people,
That
that's
part.
nothing for people to be concerned about. Oh, it's just
Yeah.
a thing that y'all just go through. And
Yeah.
the scars that are
That's what they
associated
think.
with that kind of trauma
Yeah.
require some sort of mental help. And you don't pull that shit out of somebody. And that's what happens a lot of times on those shows with those producers who don't give a shit about our people.
Yeah.
They literally have psychiatric evaluations or psychological evaluations to determine what your weaknesses and shit are, and they use it against you. I'm speaking facts, not fiction. And this conversation is going to get bigger and longer. Stacey got to leave at 9:30, so I'm not going to go too long-winded with the reality TV fuckery that goes on, but we're going to talk about it because Nene is now being a little more transparent about what she's going through. And you see it happen all the time, and it's not okay. And there needs to be a conversation between networks and production companies and people so that they can understand you don't have to sell your soul in order to be successful on reality television because people who are non-black have the ability to do it and they don't have to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of Caucasian shows that are out there on the same network where they don't even have that type of drama. And I think she's very correct in saying that when it comes to us as black people, they want to put out our dysfunction, our anger. They want to pit us against each other. No matter how many times you make up as a cast, they want to try to tear you back apart again. And so I stand with her if that's her story. Definitely I somebody brought up the word Kardashians. I'm only bringing it up because they brought it up in comparison to what they're being paid and how much they're being paid. And there is an extreme difference. I mean, the Kardashians have been on television longer, but if she's saying 16 times less, she's basically saying that we've been on television, for an extreme amount of time, and yet you're willing only to pay us a certain amount for our lives, for our drama, and for our truth. The
And
other
they're
part of that,
executive producers of their show.
right,
They
right.
are executive producers of their show. So this whole they did it to Mariah. They did it to Nikki Gilbert Daniels. Nene is the anchor of the Housewives. You
Mhm.
understand? So we never get credit for bringing something that is making money for everybody for years and
So Nikki,
millions upon millions of
let me
dollars.
ask you this. I was on reality
Got me
TV for
hot
two
in here.
years, so little doubt with it, honey. I admitted, let me out this contract, and thank God they did. Needless to say, what would happen with those bigger reality stars who do it's 16 less percent less or 16 times less? But what if the sisters said, you know what? Because the Braxton sisters producing and putting on their show in small markets immediately and then letting it grow and putting $100,000 together. So it's five sisters. That's $500,000. What could they do? Because I don't know that bit. You are a creator, executive
That's
producer.
why I'm wearing the shirt.
Yeah,
That's why I'm wearing the shirt. There's a reason why y'all From the Bottom Up, even though we had moments of drama, even though we had moments of where which you're gonna have that on reality TV. Everybody's gonna do some shit or say something, or there are gonna be
but could they
moments.
take $500,000
There's
as a
no
family
ownership of the
and buy
brand.
markets themselves and
There's
call it
no
something else?
ownership. In all likelihood, there is no ownership of the brand. If you do
No,
not
no, no,
own the
no, no.
brand,
Even
you
if they
can't
don't say
take.
Braxton's, the sisters,
My
the
point
brothers,
is
like
that
they're saying,
contracts typically, Stacey, I don't know for sure, but contracts typically have stipulations that say spin-off, derivative, anything that look like, smell like, talk like, walk like a version of this show you can't do. You understand what I'm saying? They
so
are slave
We'll be
contracts.
in
That
jail
means, and
somewhere
then
because
you
you
have
can't
to
have that.
wow.
arbitrate. You have to mediate. You cannot go to court and sue their asses. You can't talk about the shit. So they can do
So it really is
anything
like
they want
slavery
to
for
do.
my once you sign.
Exactly. Exactly. It like for 250 years, African American people built this country on our backs. That means they just went and got them some slaves, and slaves built up all of their companies and their plantations and their vegetables and their cotton and all their shit, and all they did was get beaten because of it. And they built all this wealth for these white people, right? It's the same thing. The difference is they pay you a little bit. But you go and you build this franchise, you build these amazing stories and these amazing, well, what should be amazing stories and should be amazing shows, but they fall off the fucking tracks a lot of times. And they pay you peanuts and they dare you to say anything about it. So it's no different. It's the same thing that we have done for hundreds of years. We have built things on our backs and not gotten proper credit for it. What has to happen is we have to stop being so distracted by the shiny shit. And we have to understand that, like shows, like as I was saying, From the Bottom Up was a show that we owned. Therefore, the marketing and the promotion and all the stuff that they could put into something to make it bigger and greater, you don't get as much of that as you would if they had ownership of it. So then it shows that shows where black people do own it and black showrunners and black story producers are a part of it don't work because nobody wants to see kumbaya. Nobody wants to see positivity. That in fact is a lie they want you to believe. And then they go and they bring in a bunch of young white men who have absolutely no knowledge of who you are or how we operate as black women, and they want to continue this horrible vicious narrative of angry black women who only want to fight and clown and be in bad relationships, and you don't want to see marriages work on television. I mean, how many reality TV marriages have you seen work? How many have you, other than Tanny and Todd? Oh well,
Um,
Nene and Greg. I mean, but there's always the, oh, do they have problems? Let's capitalize on that. So
yeah,
what has to happen is we have to have more people who look like us, care about our narratives, care about our stories in real ownership positions so that we can control the narrative. Because the only way you can control some shit is if you own it. You can't be renting somebody's house and go in and start making alterations and changing shit around and moving and doing anything too serious with the foundation of it because they own it.
yeah.
We have got to own our narratives. That is the only way that is going to stop. Into that, I know you got to go, Stacey, in a second. Nick Cannon is another example. He had been doing this show for I don't know how many years.
And he'd had a
Network was,
contract, and he was in business with Viacom for 21 years. 21
and
years.
they went and trademarked the name
And he'd been doing
without
the show since
his knowledge.
2008. They didn't trademark it until 2016.
Exactly. Once again, if you don't own the trademark, if you don't own, and this is not some shit they want to hear, so trust me, I'll get a letter, a phone call, or whatever, some other shit. You have got to own it.
Yeah.
It's like athletes. Shanita, you know this analogy. If you own a team, you're
Mhm.
making so much more than the players. But
Mhm.
everybody is enamored and in awe of how much
They
the
don't own their
players are
name either
making.
as athletes. All them jerseys that are sold, that's why they wanted to change the rules in college because you got these
Exactly.
Wow.
college players, and here it
Exactly.
is. You sell these players posters, you
Exactly.
sell these T-shirts, you sell these
Wow.
jerseys with
Exactly.
my last name on it in college, and here it is. I can't even
Wow.
buy toilet paper and soap, and if I get some free money from somewhere, then you want to put me out of school when I came from nothing into something. And so that's why they always have that conversation about paying college athletes. They don't own their names. Like they can sell that Foster jersey as long as they want to, okay? Forever and ever and ever. They still selling Kaepernick jersey in the league, out the league. They don't care. They selling it. And that's his
Wow.
name. And so I'm with you when you say we have to come into situations where we own it. I remember in all my TV contracts, I didn't say what nobody said. They couldn't own nothing that I made, produce. I
Right.
made sure that
Right.
line was clear. I'm like, baby, I was writing
Right.
books before TV,
Yep.
okay?
Yep.
I was doing
Absolutely.
conferences before TV.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
I made
Absolutely.
sure that that line, my attorney was very clear. You cannot say that you get a percentage of my likeness or the things that I create because I was creating this stuff before you came along. So
Yeah,
we
you guys
switch
were
that.
able to keep all of your brands. Nobody
Yeah.
Right.
was
So if
taking
you
any
could have
parts of your
switched
brands
that,
under that
I mean,
contract.
I wouldn't have been on
Yeah,
TV, and I've been on multiple
right.
television shows. And I will say this, and maybe I'll get in trouble for it. When I was on VH1, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I argue with people all the time. I had to take some housewives my first TV contract because nobody believed that we got paid $10,000 an episode. And I don't know if the time has passed where I can give out realistic numbers or whatever the case may be. But I know for a fact that I was part of reality show history because it was only Flavor of Love, Road Rules, The Kardashians, and then Football and Basketball Wives on television. And when it first started off, they paid us. They paid me to use my house. You know how you
Yeah,
go to somebody's
yeah,
house and you film? That was a filming site. So we got
yeah.
paid for you coming into
Absolutely.
my house.
That's
You
business.
paid
That's
my
business. Yeah,
children. My
yeah.
children got paid because they're characters on a television show. Now
Hmm.
you get people and you be like, I'm giving you 1,500. This includes you, your kids, your
Right,
family, your husband,
right,
and your dog, and
right,
any of your best friends.
So
I
right.
who
want to
Or
came
you
come
can
along
on.
use it.
negotiate? Who was the producer that came along and negotiated the contracts for that first? I'm not
So
gonna say the name.
when I first
Who
went
do
on
y'all
TV,
think?
I don't know. I might get in trouble. I don't care. I went through shared media. So shared media, I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. They had to be past time because it's over 10 years. But shared media was our production company.
What was the next
Um,
big
And they do
reality show
basketball
that
wives.
came out after y'all's though?
so basketball wives continued on. Football wives ended. But football wives ended because the powers that be in the NFL, they wasn't with it. They wasn't with all
Right.
that nonsense that happens. Basketball is a little different. If you pay attention to football, football is very strict and narrow, and a lot of people is like y'all kind of Jesus-y. Football has a lot of religion in it. If you watch the context
Oh
of the
yeah, all that
players
fundraising and positive stuff, they don't want to see
of
that
the
because they don't
courts
believe black
and
people do
and
that.
and and,
They don't
and
think we do
team
that.
and team every team has team chaplains and team
Hmm.
prayer and wives prayer groups, and it was just a different dynamics. And I don't want to throw Shawnee O'Neal, under the bus, but we had a lot of arguments with that. Our life changed the day, I think it was Evelyn, the day that drink got thrown, our whole show got changed because we were kumbaya filming.
But they can throw drinks on the other show, and they can flip tables on the other show,
No, but what
and
I'm
they can do
saying
all of that
is,
stuff on the
at
other show. They
that
couldn't do it on
time,
yours.
we were supposed to be a great, let's show this family life. Everybody was
Uh,
married and all of that. But during the time we were filming simultaneously. Their show was already on. When she threw
mhm.
that first drink, I'm talking about 2009, 2008, not when they was flipping tables. That's the first time you seen some, oh my gosh, on TV. They getting ready to fight. The
Mhm.
narrative for us switched. They wanted us to be mad. They wanted us to fight.
Yeah,
They went and got
yeah,
Pilar. Pilar was not a part of our original cast. I tell people that
yeah.
all the time. They brought on somebody that they knew that we weren't going to respect. Me, I would never respect her. I said out loud, I said to her face, I said to Dion or anybody, that was his mistress. She had sex with somebody's husband. She stole somebody's husband and married them. So I would never respect her. And that cast that they had at the time was not going to respect her. And so they knew that was the person that they needed to bring on TV. Why are you
The
laughing?
views and opinions expressed on this show have nothing to do with CC.
Baby,
I
I'm
know
going to
But
tell
between
you
look,
her
something,
I'm gonna
man.
and
say,
my
I'm not
50
nobody's
Cent,
friend that
it's
steals
all
somebody's
alike.
husband. Huh?
yeah. What?
Between
But
you're talking about Pilar and my 50 Cent, we were both aligned. Yours was a lot less motherfuckers than mine though, but
Baby, if the church people wasn't watching me and I ain't had to go speak, trust me, it would have been a whole lot of MFers, a whole lot of BITs, a whole lot of
right.
nephews. Trust me, I'm just trying to save this brand over here of what I have, okay? But trust me.
Hey, listen. So, but back to this situation with Tamar. I really hate
yeah,
that she was that um broken as a result of the network, or the allegedly the network and the producers and those folks who are
yeah.
producing her show. And I think when she saw that trailer, it was probably the straw that broke the camel's back. So shame on you, whoever you are, whoever
But
y'all
Nikki,
is.
not to cut you
Who was
off, but you
Um,
know
producing
how
her
we
TV
feel
show
when you
though?
see a trait.
Mona Scott
Every
Young
time
must
I
have
see,
something to do with it if she's and I
Oh,
mean
Mona.
the way she was saying
Yeah, I forgot.
don't cut us out. So us, I would assume would be producers. I don't know.
Right.
But if you're doing, I mean, that's her brand of producing. That's what she does. So
Yeah.
I say to anybody who gets into business in that particular space with producers who produce that kind of content, that's kind of what you're going to get across the board. But people are really good
Yeah,
at
that's what
convincing
I'm
you.
thinking
People,
too.
but people are good at convincing you of the bullshit. Because I'm gonna tell you real quick. Um, a lot of people don't know on R&B Divas, after the first season, I had made the decision that I was going to leave the show as a talent. I was going to work as an executive producer, and I initially was going to do it in the first season because I wanted to be taken seriously as a producer. Like all of that singing and dancing and all the other shit, I'm kind of over that on some levels. So I was like, you know what? Let me be a producer behind the scenes. So I told the network that I was going to leave the show. I was told that if I left the show would not be coming back for a second season. So I felt like by me not going and doing the show, I was pulling the opportunity away from the other women. So I went into them and I said, hey, listen, they flew me to DC. I met with the head of the network, the head of the production company. Our lawyer, everybody was in the room together, big conference room. They flew me first class. The whole took me to dinner, wined me and dined me, and said, hey, listen, we need you to do this season. What do we need to do to make this season work? I said I want to focus on a tour, which I already have lined up because Lucia, who we all know, Lucia is another one of our co-hosts and my partner, and she and Peaches had come down and they had decided they were going to do a deal with us, a tour with us for Live Nation or AEG. It was AEG or Live Nation, one or two, with this group of concert promoters. They said, okay, great, no problem. I said, so let's talk about this with the ladies, and then I want to focus on my clothing line. Needless to say, the very first day of filming, now mind you, they promised me the moon, as they probably did with Tamar, right? Nikki,
Mm-hmm.
you're the creator of this franchise. We need you. You're the most three-dimensional person, blah, 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 blah. We're so glad. Please come back. Literally begged me to come back.
Wow.
I came back. The first day of filming, they have me sitting at a Starbucks for 2.5 hours. I'm like, okay, where am I going? Where am I going? It's 2.5 hours. I'm getting a little frustrated. Oh, it'll be a little long. It's dinner. They're having dinner. They're not quite ready yet. I didn't know where I was going because they had decided they were going to stop telling us where we were going. Because, I was the queen of, I'm not about to do this shit. I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to leave. So they wanted to have me park at a Starbucks and drive me over in a van so I couldn't leave. So I was trapped, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get to the location
She
to
says so
discover that.
trapped.
So I was trapped. I get to the location to discover it's Selena's house. Now everybody remembers this scene. I'm like, okay. They're like, well, if you don't want to go in, you don't have to go in. I'm like, no, you know what? This is the first episode of the season. We said we're going to do things differently. I want to talk to them about this amazing tour, so I'm going to go in. I go into her house. When I walk in the house, Selena's pissed at me already because I'm like, hey, okay, well, I see they done already ate up all the food and whatnot. I'm like, oh, where should I sit down? She says, the chair over there. She pointed me to the chairs that her kids use at a low table, and they were all sitting in high chairs, stools at the counter. So if you notice, I was sitting down really low with my chin, my face was literally right here, right? So that was humiliating enough, right? So they're like, okay, well, now that everybody's finally here, I'm like, wait, I've been waiting for 2.5 hours, right? So maybe that I just appeared to be late and disrespectful when they were holding me at the
Wow.
Starbucks in Alpharetta, right? So that's probably why Selena was like, how dare this be? I'm extending the olive branch and she coming in 2 hours late after the food is gone, right? So
Wow.
I'm like, okay, I see what I walked in. Her sister says, I got an idea. We should do a tour. And I'm like, now I know these motherfuckers. No, good and well, I told them that we had something lined up with AEG Live Nation, and Faith and I wanted to bring this to the ladies. So why would they bring me into a situation where they came up with a tour? And not only did they quote unquote
Mm.
come up with a tour, they actually put an announcement out with our pictures on it saying that we were going on an R&B Divas tour. So AEG, the promoters that we had in line, all pulled out. That's
Mm.
real money. That's a
Wow.
real thing, right? That's a real
Wow.
thing. And it was the bullshit that happened behind the scenes. And nobody knows that. They just see you sitting up there with an attitude. Oh, Selena just told her to suck 10 bad dick.
So
And
Nikki,
that's how the
Nikki, Nikki,
season
snap out of it.
started.
Snap out of it. Snap out of it, girl. Because you've been nonstop, and we've been being patient. Because we know
Okay.
that is a story that needs to be told. But
Okay.
snap out
I'm
of it.
sorry. I'm sorry. Snap out of it. I, I'm back.
You're
I'm back.
back.
So my point is, and I get really
Poor boy.
passionate and serious about this. I get really passionate and
I
serious
know,
about
I
this
get it.
because when Tamar Braxton
Yes, here
and
we go.
Nick Cannon get to the point of feeling like they want to end it,
Yes,
I understand
yes,
what would drive a person to that place.
yes.
I've never felt like I wanted to end it, but when Maxie died in the middle of that arbitration thing we were going through, I got close to wanting to end somebody.
Yeah.
So I say all that to say we see a lot in television, but we
Mhm.
don't know all the facts. And we have to be really careful about how we judge people.
Yes. And we gotta love each other through. We
She's
gotta love
back.
each other through. Yes, girl. We listened for because I was like, my sister of 27 years, she needs to get this off. But I was like, she is going to keep going.
Was it long like
Have you
that?
learned?
Well,
It
Have you
was.
seen
It's
that we've
okay though.
grown? We've learned how to not talk over each other. We just sitting here
we
like
have.
Yes,
We
yes.
have.
we're
We
like,
have, we have. So people are saying Lucia got it and I didn't understand. What? And I got it and I didn't understand. Huh? Lucia, what did
I,
you say? I'm here. Lucia's there. Okay. So you guys, I'm sorry for the long-windedness. So in short, I think this conversation about reality TV and people ending it and all that other stuff is one that we have to stop having and we got to fix this stuff with the producers. So Stacey, Shanita, do you guys have any opinions real quick before we roll out on our brother Nick Cannon? Any advice, any love you want to share and give to him?
whew.
I just think that we're at a place still where we can't tell our truth. And when we do, we have to tiptoe it. And we have this cancel mentality
Mm.
that if we say something that majority doesn't want to agree with, we're just canceled. I made a post, I forgot what post it was. Oh, I had made a post and it had a picture of people walking and protesting. And then it had a picture of people like looting and tearing up the stores. And I was like, this is protesting. This is destruction of private property. Man, they was talking about I'm canceled.
Oh my
You're not
God.
you're not with
Oh my
you're
God.
not with our people. You're not standing with us. I just think we're still not at a place where we can speak our truth. And some people even got mad when he went back and he apologized. I was seeing comments that were like, no, you should have just kept the apology to yourself. You said what you said. So it's like there's no damned if you do, damned if you don't, pretty much at this point. You can't speak up and say what it is that you really feel. And if you do, you need to tiptoe or the powers that be. And sometimes our own people are going to
Mm-hmm.
cancel you.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I'm
Cancel
praying.
cancel culture's whack. Whatever. That shit ain't
Yeah,
real.
cancel
Yeah.
culture. So I'm praying for him. I feel bad. I learned a lot of truth in what he said. I think he spoke a lot of truth. And then ignorant Charles Barkley came back and said, how can we keep talking about the very people that we're asking for inclusion and to let us in, that we can't talk about them and then ask us to let us in or whatever. And I was like, what? So we back to that mentality that we just supposed to accept everything and just be quiet. So my
Yeah.
opinion is Nick Canyon, as black people, that's why we need more ownership. Shout out Jay-Z, Puffy, all you black
Yes.
billionaires need to put all y'all money together.
Yeah,
Like we
Ownership.
keep saying, go buy our own sports teams, go buy our
yeah.
own networks, and go places where we can go and spend our money and be our authentic being.
Yeah.
Yes, indeedy. Lucia's on here. She said that she was real quick back to the email about the tour that we had to issue a cease and desist on. She got it and she was confused. Monique's Closet said she loves and respects the sisterhood. And Lucia said that she hadn't seen where he said anything anti Semitic. I didn't really get all off into what he said or why he said it. I got so many things on my brain. I just got off into sending the brother love because whatever he said, we all make
Yeah.
mistakes,
Well,
Yeah.
he said some
and
stuff, comments about the Jewish people, and as most of you know, Jewish people actually do run a big deal of the television network
Yeah.
industry, and they have a lot of ownership, and that's
absolutely.
what Charles Barkley was alluding to. That hey, these Jewish people actually own the networks and the places that we sit in, and you ask them for more seats and for them to include us. So don't do no comparisons and don't talk about them or whatever the case may be. And I don't know. Again, we still not free. Stop saying
No,
nothing's free.
we're
Home and away
definitely
because we
not.
We
can't
Yeah.
get what
definitely
we
ain't
want to
free.
Yeah,
do.
we definitely aren't free. And, I'm probably going to be less free because, I have a lot of things to say about the shit. So make sure you guys patronize our She Speaks Live store. Go to
Yeah.
She Shops Live and please
Yes, get that
buy.
woman
Yo,
dress.
look,
Get
hey,
that
hold on.
queen
Get that
dress.
woman dress. Look,
Black Mass Matter. I love it.
that's
Let me go
right.
make let me go make a purchase tonight. I got you, sis.
Please make support it because hey, listen, this is the platform. And as it relates to ownership, She Speaks Live is a platform that is owned for us and by us. And again, people say, "Oh, you should be on a major network." The show should be. At the end of the day, unless there's ownership opportunities involved and the ability to license, I'm just going to continue sharing the good word to the good people who are paying attention. And
That's
this
right.
is what building a brand and owning a brand is all about. So
Yeah.
before we go, Stacey, you have some things that are going up for sale on your Amazon store. So can you tell the people
Yes.
about
Oh
your
my God, I'm so
Amazon store? What's
excited.
going on
Yes,
there?
yes, yes. So I have decided to extend my business model out to I am an official Amazon fulfilled by Amazon Prime seller. So I have some an amazing group of products coming out. I don't want to talk about it because I want to just show y'all when I get it done. But Nikki, thank you so much. You have been my sister for so long, but in this whole Amazon business growing thing, I know you are tired of me asking you opinions, but I respect you and I love
No,
your
never
opinions so
that.
much.
Nope, I'm not
And
tired.
I'm just really excited about this other side of my business. So yeah, I'm excited. Thank you for mentioning that, Nikki. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shanita, what do you have going on? You have
Shanita.
your new book called The Heart of the Hustle, The Heart of the
The
Hustler. What
the
is
heart
going
of
on?
the
Hot
hustler.
Tub the Hustle. T-shirts. This shirt actually saves lives. I've been selling T-shirts. I know during the pandemic it's been hard for people to donate, but they need it now more than ever. People are actually starving. Forget the sanitary napkins. On the continent of Africa, people are really starving. They do not have food. And so now I went a little bit from sanitary napkins. We still do that. We just distributed food today, I think, to 250 families. Shout out to my
So
amazing
good.
business partner, one of my board members, Jasmine Pega. They in full suits over there because they don't have respirators like us. Their hospitals are actually full in South Africa. They are not reporting that. Their hospitals are small. They are full. And
From
COVID is
COVID?
just now, huh?
COVID?
Baby, COVID is taking them out right now. It's
I thought
Oh
they
my
cold.
said
God.
COVID
Oh
wasn't
my
over there
God.
like it
And
is
so
here.
listen, it has arrived in South Africa.
Wow.
They went back to I think level 5. They're going on a
Oh
strict
wow.
lockdown. No alcohol sales. Shout out to Samizi. His mother just passed away. He had an aunt that he was trying to take to a hospital in an ambulance. All the hospitals were full. Rapper, aka South African, he actually has COVID right now. Multiple politicians have passed away. Here's another thing. No disrespect. Please don't take this the wrong way, South Africa. There's a lot of people that are HIV and AIDS positive, and this thing that the infection, the virus, it takes out people that have already previous conditions. So
Oh.
they have a lot of
Oh
previous
wow.
conditions over in Africa. When you talk about hepatitis, when you talk about HIV/AIDS, when you talk about with malaria, all these different things that they already have going on. So their death rate is actually increasing, and unlike us, they don't put out all these crazy numbers and expose all their dirty laundry and just plop it out there for the rest of the world to know or to see the judge. It's just that I have friends there and I talk to them each and every single day. So I am praying for them.
Yes.
Definitely
Wow.
praying that the country opens back up. So a t-shirt pays for our stuff. You can get it from beyondthegame.org and everything else I'm selling, just go on the website.
Absolutely. And hopefully Stacy and Shanita will allow us to give y'all some sort of special discount code so that you could buy the
Oh
merchandise on
yeah.
She
I
Speaks
got
Live.
you
Oh well,
next
wait.
A
I
time.
didn't know
portion
I
of
can do that
every
on Amazon though. But oh, maybe I can.
well,
I'll
you can
figure it
still
out.
come up with some. You can send us some merch because
Okay.
anyone who's purchased any merchandise on She Speaks Live, a small percentage of it goes to From the Bottom Up Foundation. And real quick plug before we go away. Next on Wednesday, Hopefully, Christine will be back with us. She is taking care of some really, really important business. I want to save the conversation about Keisha Lance Bottoms and Sean. I'm sorry, Mayor Kemp,
Mayor Kim,
and the mask
Governor
fiasco.
Kim,
I'm sorry, Mayor
Keisha Lane
Bottoms
Bottoms,
and
and
Governor
Governor
Kemp,
Kim.
Brian
Governor
Kemp.
Wimp.
So I want to make sure that Christine is a part of that conversation. But I do want to say real quickly,
Governor Wimp.
on Wednesday, I'm going to be joined by Maia Campbell's, a member or two of Maia Campbell's team.
Oh wow.
Guys, you know Maia Campbell was a cast member on From the Bottom Up. She we decided that we wanted to kind of give her a break from filming because there started to this downward spiral started to occur, and rather than be people like the people Tamar Braxton and Nene and Nikki and all of us are talking about and exploit her illness, we
Yeah.
decided that it was better for her to either get help and show herself getting help on the show or to walk away from the show altogether. So we made that responsible decision as people who cared about her well-being. Anyway, long and short, Maya is not doing well. Maya is not doing well at all. She is currently being held in jail in DeKalb County, which is not where she belongs. She needs mental health help and she needs a mental health professional. So I talked to Shanti Das today. Shanti, thank you. God bless you, sister. She's helping us
Mm-hmm.
to find
That's
and
good.
locate some resources. And it's really important that we try to help Maya now while she is in police custody, at least getting her to another facility,
Yeah.
because she doesn't need to be released back to the streets, especially with COVID and all this horrible stuff that's going on right now. But she doesn't belong in jail either. So, you guys, if you're interested at all in helping Maia Campbell, please send us an email to shespeakslive@gmail.com or send me an email on the She Speaks Live site, because
Mm.
we're working really hard to try to, we don't know what we can do right now, but through our nonprofit From the Bottom Up Foundation, I'm hoping that we can raise funds that will go specifically towards her getting the help that she needs, because she's been discarded on so many levels, and it's just not right and it's not okay. And if there's something we can do to help that sister move forward in her life, I'd like for us to try. So please make sure you watch next week on Wednesday. It's going to be a powerful show. I hope that I can convince Shanita and Stacy to come back. I know Christine will be here. And like I said, we'll be talking to someone from Maia Campbell's team and hoping that we can help this sister get some help. So if you're a mental health professional, you know someone, you connected to somebody in DeKalb or in Atlanta, if there's anything you can offer to help this sister get help, we would
Wow.
gratefully be so
Yes,
grateful for it. Okay.
God.
So I think
All
that
right.
is our show for tonight. Stacy
Yay.
just go read me, telling me I was gone for a minute, y'all. But I'm hoping to have some conversations with some of these R&B divas, and I think that what we're gonna do with Stacy, what you suggested with the Braxtons, I hope, which is
Yes, y'all can.
our
I'm
own
so
shit,
serious. Just
owner
like they
shit.
sold Sister Circle to the markets and then they grew, I believe y'all put your money together, that celebrity, all of that numbers of people that you guys have following you, you develop your show and you just put it on little, networks and then it grows and you own it though. Like I really see that happening. And then
Yeah,
other
ownership is
women will
queen.
say, "Oh wow, it happened." And guess what we're gonna do? Other people will do it after. And
Yep.
I
Other
do
people do
believe
it
that you
too.
guys can do that. Yeah.
Ownership is queen. Thank you guys for watching She Speaks Live. Lucia just said Christine needs to run against Angela Stanton for Rep Lewis's. Oh, we
Don't
can't
do
let that
Angela
that.
go
Sten
by.
is running. I'm sorry.
Girl, you didn't know that
Listen,
her and John
Angela
Lewis was
Sten
supposed to
is
run
running
against
for
each other.
John
Baby,
Lewis's position.
girl, he passed away, so
No, I
nobody is
know
running
that, but
against.
Angela Sten,
rest in
Baby,
peace.
she got yard signs in the neighborhood. Where you been?
Angela's serious. Angela is serious.
You missed
Angela
the
is serious.
campaign. She's been
Angela
out
is
there in the
serious. Yeah.
workfield.
Yeah, she has been. And Angela, is really passionate about prison reform and helping people, get out of jail. And like we said a million times, we don't agree on a lot, but we agree on enough. So,
I don't even do politics, but I would help Christine. I would come out of
You
retirement.
dirty.
you would
You
come out, we
not
would
about
all
to
help.
play with
Hey,
me.
listen.
You not about to play with me right now, Stacey.
For
Hey,
real.
So Christine is probably watching this thing like, no, they didn't. Lucia said it. Call
Yes,
Lucia.
I would
Lucia
come out of
said it.
retirement for that one. For real.
Well, we're going to get into politics next week because it's a very important conversation that we need to have about politics and what is going on with our mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms, who I stand with. Log on and get your Black Mask Matter and your 90s R&B mask and your Stacey's My Life Matters mask and Shanita book and all that other stuff because we're trying to make some good things happen. You guys, thank you for watching. We love and appreciate you for supporting She Speaks Live. You can find Stacey J at Just Date Girl. You can find Shanita Foster at Shanita Foster. And you can find my old see now ass at Nikki Gilbert. I thank you guys for watching. And next Wednesday, it's going to be a good one. We're talking about Maya Campbell and what we can do to help the system make it through this valley. All right. We love y'all.
Bye
I'm
bye.
Nikki Gilbert, so this is She Speaks Live, and I got to figure out how to get off here, ladies. We're not gone yet. Hold on.
Okay.
And thank you to everyone watching on Facebook, everyone watching on YouTube, everybody watching on Twitch, everybody watching on NoEgo.tv and SheSpeaksLive.com. We love y'all. Good night.